Hi, guys. All right. I don't know how many people are going to join me on a Sunday afternoon because I know some people are out, and this is really the only time I can do this today. Sorry I didn't come by on Friday. Ugh, you know, end of the week is kind of hard, but I'll do the best I can. And this is going to be a little different, anyways, because I just have some things on my heart, and I wanted to share with you things that I've learned, not because I'm great at anything, um, just to hopefully encourage. And if it doesn't encourage you, that's okay. Um, Let me preface by saying I am a typical middle class kind of person, and I've thankfully grown up that way. Um, but we all have our difficulties. Hey guys. Hey Pepper Moon. I hope your situation's getting better. Hey Jess. Hope your tooth's getting what you need. Oh Mike. Um. So, anyways, I was gonna give a little bit of my testimony, and see, I'm so this is my problem. I did grow up in the church, and I grew up. Hey Skull. I grew up in all this Christianese, churchanese type language. So I'm sorry if that slips sometimes. Me saying, "Oh, let me give my testimony." It sounds corny to me, but let me just share a little bit of my life experience. Not my whole life, that'd be really boring. Thankfully, I've had a pretty boring life. Um, but I wanted to encourage you and share with you what's been going on recently, just because we all have times of like hopelessness. And then I want to share my thoughts on kind of what sometimes we're taught the Bible says, but it doesn't really say. So we'll get to Isaiah 25 and 20 through 27 eventually, but I wanted to share with this first. So I'll share the down times and the good times. So some of you know parts of parts of my story anyways, but yeah, that's cool. I'm not going to be reading a lot of the chat until the end, but that's cool. Thanks, Nathan. So when Robert and I got married, he had a good job, and Robert has his own story that he went through. He has a YouTube channel too, but he doesn't use it for personal things. But he wouldn't mind me sharing. He actually wrote a book about being personally motivated and goal setting. But he grew up as an abused child. And I'm only telling you this because despite the curses people put on us openly or consciously or subconsciously, we can still overcome them. So Robert did grow up as an abused child from about the age of 3 till 13. And he never was encouraged to do what he wanted to do. He went to college to be, and there's a reason I'm going on about this, so hold on. He went to college to be a PE teacher, but his father, being the way he was, he would only let him do like the bare minimum. He wasn't allowed to play football. His father went to school to be a music teacher, and that's what he wanted Robert to do: play in the high school band, not play football. And I'll tell you this: Robert's dad cursed Robert at birth. He put a curse of rejection on him, literally saying, "I don't want him." And I'm only sharing that with you because no matter who says anything about you, you can overcome that. Yah always thinks better and who you are. Yah sees you as, like, he sees our soul. He sees what we are with all this crap and curse and all that. And Robert, my husband, is a 6'3", dark-haired, handsome man, and he keeps his he's healthy. And so I told him, and I'm sharing this too so that you can know that you can do this too. Yah had me tell him to go look in the mirror. And Yah has a word for everybody. That's why I'm kind of sharing this. I'm kind of sharing all over the place. Yah told me to tell Robert to go look in the mirror and stand up tall, because he's 6'3", broad-shouldered, striking dark hair, a friendly face. And I said, Yah wants me to tell you that is how he sees you. He doesn't see this beaten up little boy who was told he wasn't worth anything or couldn't do anything right. He sees you as a tall, strong, striking man. And so I've always tried to remind him of that. I say that because, going back to his wanting to be a PE teacher, again, the devil tried to, hey Tony, the devil tried to trip him up in college. He was student teaching for PE, and he had never said anything against other lifestyles, if you know what I mean. But this one PE teacher who he was student teaching with found out he was a believer and failed him because she assumed he was against her lifestyle choices. So he didn't get his bachelor's to be a PE teacher like he wanted. So it's like strike two. So he was treated horribly by his own father. He never got out of that situation. It just, he kind of grew taller than his dad, and then his dad left him alone. But not verbally. I think he still verbally put him down. So then strike two, he has no bachelor's that he worked in college for. So by the time we met, he had just been doing like sales for a, I don't know, some company. And he was making good money. So this is where our lives started getting intertwined. When he and I met, he had a good job. We were one of those young couples that went out every Friday night and went out to dinner. And then I was, hey, uncle, I was pregnant. Robert lost his job. And so we've been married 10 years this past September. From then on, it's been nothing but like serious roller coaster, everything in our life. We were out in Colorado at the time, and we had lived in an apartment. He lost his job. I was working part-time at a daycare. And so, thanks, Tony. And so we were just running out of money. We knew we were going to run out of money. We had also, so I was 3 months pregnant, newly pregnant. We were going to move from this apartment to this townhome, which was like double the rent. So by the time we got to the apartment, Robert only had part-time work, and anyways, we basically just ran out of money. We had to ask his parents to help us with rent. And then we decided, okay, we got to move out of this townhome because we can't afford it. So I had our daughter, and she was born at a time of like when we only had each other. Robert couldn't find any stable work. I couldn't work because our daughter was a newborn. The only food a few times we had were like just whatever the church gave us, which was like Doritos. And I'm like, I was gluten-free back then, and my body's all messed up, but like that's all we had. And I remember just praying that at least my daughter would have the formula she would need. And there was only one time we did get those like bottles of formula that were this big, and it's crap. Like it's soy. It was horrible. I was only I only gave her one of those bottles the whole time we didn't have money. Whatever we didn't have, yeah, at least provided the better formula. I mean, formula is not good anyways, but that's all I had. That's all I could do at the time. And I won't go into details about that. Anyways, so we moved to this apartment, but we were still, and Robert had changed jobs again. And it wasn't a high paying job, and it wasn't a good job. I still wasn't working because our daughter was a baby. I tried to get a job with an old coworker of mine at a daycare, and then she ended up not needing me. That's the only way I could like afford childcare to work. But anyways, someone mentioned to us that we should move in with one of our parents, and so that's what we did. We moved back to Illinois, where I'm originally from, with my parents. We left. I won't forget this night, this day. Robert actually got a job, not right away, but he got part-time work out in Illinois. He came out to Illinois first to live with my parents, and then Alessia and I were at the apartment for a little bit, for a couple weeks alone. And then we were going to fly out to Illinois. So I literally, the apartment was giving us papers to evacuate, or else we would be thrown out. And we were going to lose everything. We were going to lose our cars. We were going to lose our furniture. We were going to lose everything. So I literally left the apartment and never looked back. I took our daughter in the carrier. The apartment was not packed at all. I just left. And it just looked like we were going to the store, but I was leaving for good. And Robert and my dad had to go out and pack up the apartment before any other papers from collectors and before the apartment complex of the company told us that we would be taken forcibly out. So anyways, then we moved in with my parents, and Robert got a better job, and I got a job also. And so it was slowly getting better. And then me being a teacher, I know what children's milestones of development should be. So my daughter, I noticed, was not hitting some milestones like crawling and walking. So then she started therapies. They told me she was developmentally delayed across the board. They call it global delays, which means basically delayed in every aspect of development. So I'm saying this because I hope I don't cry, because my daughter is amazing. But man, does she have she's been given a tough hand in life. At that point, we were told to just file bankruptcy. So thankfully, we didn't lose anything. We didn't lose our furniture. And let me just say, all our furniture was given to us. As some of you said, I just recently painted my dumpster dive coffee table, which I love. It looks brand new. So yeah, we didn't lose everything. We had friends who had paid some bills for us and some groceries. We were able to get our own apartment, and Robert kept his job for a while, and I kept working in childcare, and it was fine. Alessia, my daughter, had her therapies. And if any of you know anybody, or if you yourself have children with special needs, it doesn't really get easier. It gets harder in different ways. So yeah, we filed bankruptcy, and we've been scraping by the past, well, Alessia is now 9. We've been scraping by the past 8 years. But with our hard work, and I came to the point of, like, we needed, so this was last year. I was about to have a mental breakdown with my job. Not because I don't love children, but children are different now. Parenting is different now. I was working crazy. My boss was giving me more to do with, average pay, and, no one goes into teaching for the money. Robert forgot to mention, Robert got his second bachelor's in web development. But he, again, came across whatever, I don't know, we just keep rejecting the curse. He couldn't find a job in his field where he could get paid more. And everyone around him was like, that graduated with him, he's like, oh, they got a job within a year or 2. He looked for a job in web design. So this is for like, I don't know, 5 years. And last year I came to the point, and this is what I wanted, this is where the encouragement comes. I was like Jacob wrestling, yeah. And I think it's okay. Maybe some of you might disagree. Maybe some of you agree. I questioned Yah like crazy. And I got mad. And everyone knows, well, I was taught in the church, everyone knows in the church, you shouldn't question God, and he's sovereign, and he knows what he's doing, which I don't doubt that. But if you can come as a human and say, listen, I'm upset, and I had panic attacks, and I couldn't sleep, and I was really shaking my fist saying, you know what? Why did we keep coming to these roadblocks? Everyone around us has successful lives. Everyone around us can make it happen. Why can't we? And I never asked for anything fancy, and I never will, and I don't care. But I wrestled with him the past few years, just with what's going on with our daughter, and if any of you know, outside therapies and nutrition and all those extras that the school districts don't give you, they give you basic therapies. They will not give you anything else. It's thousands and thousands of dollars. And I've even tried recently to get her therapies through the state Medicare, and they said, we make too much, which we still are below the average of what people make for our age. So it's like, it's crazy. Anyways, so 6 months ago, Robert came to me and said, we have enough in savings where we can buy our own home. We can't keep paying rent. And as some of you Illinois people know, Illinois is crazy expensive. Denver, where Robert's from, is crazier in expenses. We were thinking about moving out there. That door slammed in our face. And then Indiana came up, and I still don't know why we're out here in Indiana. But anyways, Robert got another job in web design in January. Yeah, I think in January, February. I don't remember. He got what he was looking for. And so we moved forward to buy the house we're in now. 2 months later, this company told him, oops, we don't need you anymore. Your position was, your position was not needed, and we got rid of it. So we had already signed the papers and given money to put down on this home we're in now, and he had lost his job again. Yeah, Andrew, we lived in an apartment we only paid $950, I think, $960. But yeah, everything was broken and old. But yeah, so Robert lost his job again, like 6 months ago. And I told Ya, and I was shaking my fist again, and I said, I know you gave us this home, and maybe I'll tell that story another day, because there's lots of details of how we got to where we are now. Anyway, so I said, I know you gave us this home. You don't take things away. You cannot. I felt like someone was dangling a carrot in front of my face and yanking it away. And I said, we haven't worked this hard for 10 years to have everything taken away again from us. And I just stayed mad at God. I just I almost gave up. I was like, forget it. We can never get ahead, and it's not all about like getting what I want either. I would have been happy with an old house, but Yah really did allow us to get a brand new home. And I'll tell you that story another time. Lots of like signs from him, because I basically said, you're going to give me a sign and you have to come through because this is it. And he did. And I think 2 weeks before the mortgage company said that we would not be able to move into this home, Robert got a job in Indiana, 30 minutes away from where we live, in his field of web design. And here we are. And it's expensive. I'm not going to lie. I'm working full time again, and that's okay. But I wanted to read Isaiah 54. I know I mentioned last week that this is what brought me through coming back from being depressed, anxious, panicky, angry. And I don't think people are always like, oh, that's for Israel. We are Israel, people. We're grafted in. Like, don't let anyone tell you these promises aren't for you, and I don't care. And even if you don't believe in Yah, or if you think that, the energy in the air or whatever you believe, I don't care. This is the truth. It really does happen. If you seek out what you are looking for, yeah, exactly, Mike. You shall not want, no matter what it is. So here's Isaiah 54. And this is what I just read over and over. And I didn't even believe it. Like when we were going through that job loss again, I was like, all right, I'll read it, but I don't really care. So anyway, it says, sing with joy, you childless women who never give birth to children. Break into shouts of joy, you women who never have birth pains. There will be more children of women who have been deserted than there are children of married women, says Yah. Expand the space of your tent. So I took that and I said, all right, we're expanding our space. Get us out of this city apartment. My daughter needs the outdoor space for her health and her physical well-being. I'm counting on you to expand our tent. And no one can tell me that's not biblical, because he does it. Stretch out the curtains of your tent and don't hold back. Lengthen your tent ropes and drive in the tent pegs. So whatever was placed for us here in Indiana, we're here to stay. We're never moving again. You will spread out to the right and to the left. Your descendants will take over other nations, and they will resettle deserted cities. Don't be afraid, because you won't be put to shame. Don't be discouraged, because you won't be disgraced. You'll forget the shame you've had since you were young. You won't remember the disgrace of your husband's death anymore. Your husband is your maker. His name is Yah Sabaoth. Your Goel is Kodesh Israel. He is called the El of the whole world. Yah has called you as if you were a wife who was abandoned and in grief, a wife who married young and was rejected, says your Yah. I abandoned you for one brief moment, but I will bring you back with unlimited compassion. I hide my face from you for a moment in a burst of anger, but I will have compassion on you with everlasting kindness, says Yah. To me, this is like Noah's floodwaters, when I swore an oath that Noah's floodwaters would never cover the earth again. So now I swear an oath not to be angry with you or punish you. The mountains may move and the hills may shake, but my kindness will never depart from you. My promise of peace will never change, says Yah, who has compassion on you. You suffering, comfortless, storm-ravaged city, I will rebuild your city with precious stones. I will reset your foundations with sapphires. This means riches, and it's not necessarily money. All your children will be taught by Yah, and your children will have unlimited peace. Wouldn't that be nice? I hope my descendants have unlimited peace. You will be established in righteousness. You will be far from oppression, so you will not be afraid. You will be far from destruction, so it won't come near you. If anyone attacks you, it will not be my doing. Whoever attacks you will be defeated by you. I've created blacksmiths to fan the coals into flames and to produce useful weapons. I've also created destroyers to bring destruction. No weapon that has been made to be used against you will succeed. You will have an answer for anyone who accuses you. This is the inheritance of Yah's servants. Their victory comes from me, declares Yah. So that's Isaiah 54. And that can go for any of us in any situations. You can speak against evil. They have to listen. I didn't even get to the part of my testimony this past year of I saw lots of evil spirits. Well, I shouldn't say evil. They were unclean. I don't quite know what unclean spirits are, but I saw a lot of those like nightly. That's what would wake me up in a panic. And they're gone since we've moved. I had horrible dreams. I had daily, like minute by minute, tauntings by demons in my mind up until about a month ago. So it's not like they don't try. But I heard something recently from someone, and they said, if you give them, if you talk back to them, you are giving them, you are resisting them. And we're not supposed to resist them, because then you're acknowledging that they're fighting against you. So instead, rebuke them and don't give them any notice, because then there's no resistance. They know they're not worth fighting like that. So that's worked for me. I'll say that I don't say this out loud because I do think words are powerful. When I turned 40 this past year, a demon came to me and said, "You're going to die this year." And so this whole year, I've actually really been struggling with my anxiety and being fearful about how am I going to die? When am I going to die? And then actually some demonic forces of hypochondria came on me and tormented me with that. So thankfully, I've gotten some help with that. And, sorry, my screen's getting all funny because I'm moving. So that has subsided, and I just reject all that. I just rebuke it. I don't think about it anymore. It was minute by minute for a while there. That's really draining. So I'm not discounting how draining and how hard everything is. And evil is relentless, but we're relentless too. Even if you don't feel like it, our souls are a lot stronger than our physical bodies. Our physical bodies take a lot, and they do a lot to us out to make our physical bodies weak. But our souls are stronger, whether we make it or not. Whatever happens in this world is crazy. But yeah, that's just my story. And nope, I'm not. You're right, Skull. Just crazy. But I'm just saying, after 10 years, and I'm not saying life is perfect either, and I'm not saying, oh, you're gonna, name it and claim it and get a new house and all this crap. That's not what I'm talking about either. But I am saying, because I have this home now, any of you are welcome. If you're ever in the Midwest, come see us in Indiana. Indiana's a lot more boring than Illinois, and I'm still getting used to it. But at least I have this house that any of you would want to visit and come. We always have a place for you. So that's right, Mike. Yeah, they don't have power. And I have to remember that. And for some reason, I don't. It must be my soul. I know my soul's stronger because I just keep doing what I do. I don't even know how I do things anymore. Because at times I felt like I was just gonna lose my mind, literally. Like I was gonna tell Robert, call the asylum and put me in there because I can't even think straight. But I don't know. One day at a time is all we have. And well, thanks, Tony. I'm praying for everybody too. But yeah, in the past month, things have gotten better, and I don't have those tormenting thoughts anymore, or spirits coming to me at night. I did have one come to me a couple weeks ago. It was just weird, but whatever. They're just weird. They're not scary. They're weird. I've had scary ones. Don't get me wrong. I do think there's something to dreams. I think we do go in the spiritual realm in dreams sometimes because I've had some flat out scary demons chase me in dreams. So I know that wasn't a dream. That was like real. But yeah, I don't have the answers, but yeah, it does. Oh yeah, Mike, I would love to go to the United Kingdom. My heritage is from England and Scotland and Sweden over there, Italy. I'm Italian. The way the world is, I don't even know how I would get to the United Kingdom. It'd be cool though. Yeah. So, Isaiah 54, look it up, listen to it, read it, even if you're angry at God. I don't, maybe it'll help you too. I'm going to get a big sign with Isaiah 54 somehow written on it and put it up on my wall because I've already dedicated our house to him, and whatever he wants to do with it, he can do with it. And we're not fancy, like I said. We have all our furniture was given to us. I think we have a couple IKEA furniture pieces that we are able to afford, but I don't know. Everything else is all good. But yeah. All right, enough about me. That was just to tell you, however your story looks, you'll make it, whatever the ending is. It's not, I don't look for perfection, but like I said, maybe you don't even like my testimony because it's easier than yours, or, I don't know. We could all be gone in a second anyways. So, we have to be thankful for what we do have. And, yeah. So I'm going to read Isaiah 25 now through 27 because there were some interesting things in there. So this is just going to be more of a reading than like a study. And there's a couple weird things in here though. I was going to mention about, what was I going to mention? I don't remember. Okay. Oh, hey, Plain Fire. Both me and my wife met the Queen of England. Oh, I believe it, Mike. Oh, that being, that queen is weird. I've heard she's been dead for a while. Or maybe she's not dead. I don't know. There's all this stuff out there. I don't watch any news. I don't watch anything. What's real is in front of my eyes, not the TV or the people I meet are who I have an influence over. It's so strange. The world is so strange. Yeah, I don't even know. This is what I was going to say. I've been wondering about that verse in Job that says, Yah gives and Yah takes away, blessed be his name. And I always think, though, who bothered Job? Who took away from Job? It was Satan. It was never Yah. And I always wondered, did Job ever figure that out? Or did he not ever know that. And then I was thinking, does Yah really take things away? Or do we end up having things taken away because of how we've reacted? Or I don't think Yah takes things away like that. He only gives what we do need. So she used to be Queen Victoria. Oh, okay. Yeah, I could see that. Weird. I think, if you want to know my opinion, I'm just going to be super open too. I tell people on chats a lot, look into royal families. They actually play the parts of everybody we see uh, in the media or other royalty. Like you said, if she's Queen Elizabeth or Queen Elizabeth is Queen Victoria, I believe no one is who they say they are. So, yeah, thanks for what he had. Yeah, what he had and what he did, and that's the truth. Just be thankful for what you do have, no matter what. Because we do always have something. Like I said, when my daughter was a baby and I had to feed her that crappy soy formula that one time, it was only that one time. And you're right. I don't remember who said it, but he never has us for want for anything, even if it's just like when that widow woman, Elijah, came to the widow woman and said, "Feed me." Something, and she said, "Well, I only have enough for me and my son, and then we're going to die." Um, we, you always have something, and um, that's really true. Um, yeah, you're right, Mike. Yeah, possession. Ugh, that's a whole nother story about who's out there and what they're doing and how they're messing with us. You just got to be in tune with what's real and what's not. So, all right, let me get to this weirdness in. I shouldn't say all weirdness. Isaiah 25 is and 26 are full of encouragement. We're getting to the encouraging part of Isaiah, not just all the destruction and resets and timeline weirdness. 25 and 26 are pretty uplifting, so I'll read those. Oh, Yah, you are my El. I will highly honor you. I will praise your name. You have done miraculous things. You have been completely reliable in carrying out your plans from long ago. And I'm going to stop there. I always think it's interesting now that we're in Isaiah a little bit. It's still saying from long ago. And let's get out of the mindset of thinking, oh, that's just 6,000 years ago. No, I mean, he's talking like beyond 6,000 years. We don't know our true history. It was way beyond, I think, 6,000 years. Not just humankind, mankind. There were other times out there. You have turned cities into ruins. So I'm in verse 2 of chapter 25. Turned cities into ruins, fortified cities into piles of rubble, and foreigners' palaces into cities that will never be rebuilt. That kind of makes me think of the Utah type rock structures or other places in the world that those, if those rocks and those formations are true structures, they'll never be rebuilt. They're completely decimated. Okay, that is why strong people will honor you, and cities ruled by world's tyrants will fear you. You have been a refuge for the poor, a refuge for the needy in their distress, a shelter from the rain and a shade from the heat. Tyrant's breath is like a rainstorm against a wall, like heat in a dry land. You calm the uproar of foreigners. The song of tyrants is silence, like heat that is reduced by the shadow of a cloud. On this mountain, Yah Sabaoth will prepare for all people a feast with the best foods and the finest wines, a banquet with aged wines. On this mountain, he will remove the veil of grief covering all people and the mask covering all nations. Now, when back a couple years ago all that stuff happened, Yah did show me there's like a blanket deception. So think of like how they spray the sky and there looks like that blanket of clouds. That's the deception. That's the part of the way they're doing it, physically and metaphorically. Yeah. So there's a veil of grief. There's a veil covering all nations. So the sea shall give up her dead. Yeah, yeah. We're gonna get a little bit into that. Yes, my husband's been telling me about the dry rivers, that they've been finding those towns underneath the waters that are now drying up. So Isaiah, again, like I said last week, Revelation is not chronological. Neither is Isaiah. I think it goes from like the millennial kingdom to maybe the time we're in now. I'm not saying what time we're in. I don't know. I'm not saying what happened or what will happen. I'm still kind of up in the air with all that. Um, oh, thanks, Mike. I'm still up in the air with where we are in the timeline. I had a thought about the timeline, and of course, I can't remember. I'll have to write it down and share with you later. All right. So I'm in verse 8. He will swallow up death forever. Adonai Yah will wipe away tears from every face, and he will remove the disgrace of his people from the whole earth. Yahweh has spoken. On that day his people will say, "This is our El, we have waited for him, and now he will save us. This is Yahweh, we have waited for him. Let us rejoice and be glad, because he will save us." Yahweh's power will be on this mountain. Moab will be trampled beneath him like straw that is trampled in a pile of manure. The Moabites will stretch out their hands in the manure like swimmers who stretch out their hands to swim. Ew, they're in a big pile of shit. Yah will humble those arrogant people despite the movements of their hands. He will bring down Moab's high fortified walls and level them and throw them into the dust on the ground. Chapter 26. On that day, this song will be sung in the land of Judah. We have a strong city. Its walls and fortifications provide safety. Open the gates and let the righteous nation come in, the nation that remains faithful. So that's of all peoples, not just Israel. With perfect peace, and this is my Names of Yah Bible, so this is the famous Isaiah 26:3. Some of you know it in the King James. That's how you will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you. That's this verse. With perfect peace, you will protect those whose minds cannot be changed because they trust you. Trust Yah always, because Yah alone is an everlasting rock. He has brought down those who live high in the towering city. He levels it. So that it might have already happened. I don't know. He levels it to the ground and throws it into the dust. Feet trample it, the feet of the oppressed, the footsteps of the poor. The path of the righteous is level. O upright one, you make the road of the righteous smooth. Certainly we will wait with hope for you, O Yah, as we follow the path of your guiding principles. We want to remember you and your name. So remember, the guiding principles are those taught in Torah, which goes for all of mankind, to think of those more highly than yourself, or treat others the golden rule, and to honor Yah, and to do what's right, to walk humbly. Sorry, I lost my place because I went on a rabbit trail. All right. Verse 6. Feet trample it, the feet of the oppressed, the footsteps of the poor. The path of the righteous is level. O upright one, you make the road of the righteous smooth. Certainly we wait with hope for you, O Yah, as we follow the path of your guiding principles. We want to remember you and your name. But people don't remember his name now. That's why I say Yah or Yahweh. It's not God. God is Baal. That's Satan. With my soul, I long for you at night. Yes, with my spirit, I eagerly look for you. When your guiding principles are on earth, those who live in the world learn to do what is right. Although the wicked are shown pity, they do not learn to do what is right. They do what is wrong in the upright land and do not see the majesty of Yah. Oh, Yah, your power is visible, but they do not see it. They will see how devoted your people are, and they will be put to shame. Your burning anger will destroy your enemies. Oh Yah, you will establish peace for us since you have done everything for us. Oh Yah, RL, you are not the only master to rule us, but we acknowledge only you. The wicked are dead, they are no longer alive. Here's what I was talking about. We're talking about the spirits going up. The wicked are dead, they are no longer alive. This is verse 14 in chapter 26. The spirits of the dead won't rise. You have punished them, destroyed them, and wiped out all memory of them. So that really hasn't happened yet. I was thinking to myself as I was reading this, there's still certain evils out there. But once these evil entities die, now I know that many of these evil entities live to 200 or more years, but they're not eternal beings. Okay, you have expanded the nation, O Yahuwah. You have expanded the nation. You are honored, and you have extended all the land's boundaries. O Yahuwah, the people have come to you in trouble. They were humbled by oppression, by your discipline upon them. O Yah, when we are with you, we are like pregnant women ready to give birth. They writhe and cry out in their labor pains. We were pregnant, we writhed with labor pains, only to give birth to the wind. We weren't able to bring salvation to the land, and no new people were born on earth. Your dead will live. Their corpses will rise. Those who lie dead in the dust will wake up and shout for joy, because your dew is a refreshing dew, and the earth will revive the spirits of the dead. My people, go to your rooms and shut the doors behind you. Hide for a little while until his fury has ended. Yahuwah is going to come out from his dwelling place to punish those who live on earth for their sins. The earth will uncover the blood shed on it and will no longer cover up its dead bodies. So justice for all the injustices. Yes. Anunnaki, which means without rulership. Right, Mike. All right, I'm going to go to chapter 27. The Lord's, I'm sorry, Yah's people will worship on his holy mountain. So has this happened yet? I'm not sure. Here comes the weird part, and also another reference to Job with Leviathan. I recently came to the conclusion that, and I had a couple people say the same thing. Well, I think it was UAP. He had mentioned something about Leviathan, and then that got me thinking, and I'm like, he's right. He thinks that Leviathan is Satan, obviously, and then that part in Job when it's talking about Leviathan is actually Satan coming in and telling everybody how great he is, or how great he thinks he is. So here's about Leviathan as Satan himself. And we don't really know what Leviathan or Behemoth is. Does anybody know where's the scripture that talks about those beasts being the food for the wicked? I don't remember. Someone just mentioned it recently, and I can't remember. But in this case, Leviathan is talking about Satan. On that day, Yah will use his fierce and powerful sword to punish Leviathan. And of course, all my notes say meaning of this line is uncertain. Oh, Psalms. Thanks, Pepper. To punish Leviathan, that slippery snake. Leviathan, that twisting snake. He will kill that monster which lives in the sea. So then if you go back, if you say in the sea, some smarter people than myself have mentioned that that is denoting that it's not the physical ocean or seas, it's talking about people, that that's a symbol of people. So living among people. He will kill that monster which lives in the sea or lives among the people, maybe that might be it. On that day, sing about a delightful vineyard. I, Yahweh, watch over it. I water it continually. I watch over it day and night, so that no one will harm it. I am no longer angry. If only thorns and briars would confront me, I would fight them in battle and set them all on fire. Or else let them come to me for protection. Let them make peace with me. Yes, let them make peace with me. In times to come, Jacob will take root. Israel will blossom, bud, and fill the whole world with fruit. Will Yahuwah hurt Israel as he hurts others who hurt them? Will he kill them as he killed others? He punished Israel by sending it away, so the dispersing. He removed it with a fierce blast from the east winds. In this way, the wrongdoings of the descendants of Jacob are covered up. This is the way they will turn from their sins, when they turn all the altar stones into powdered chalk, and no poles dedicated to the goddess Asherah or incense altars are left standing. The fortified city is isolated. That might be referring to Jerusalem as the fortified city. The homestead is left deserted, abandoned like the desert. Calves will graze there. They will lie down. They will feed on the branches. When the branches are dried up, they will be broken off. Women will come and build a fire with them. These people don't understand these things. That is why their Maker won't have compassion on them, and their Creator won't have pity on them. Now, in this version of the Bible that I have, they do capitalize Yah's names, whether it's talking about creator or maker. And maybe this is just a typo, but here in this verse it says, that is why their maker, lowercase m, won't have compassion on them, and their creator, capital C, won't have pity on them. So I'm not sure if that's just a typo. On that day, Yahweh will begin his threshing from the flowing stream of the Euphrates River to the brook of Egypt. You already know my opinions on that. People of Israel, you will be gathered one by one. On that day, a ram's horn will be blown loudly, or a shofar. Those who are dying in Assyria and those who are banished to Egypt will come and worship Yahweh on the holy mountain in Jerusalem. All right. So it's interesting to see in Isaiah so far, the earth is not, we're not come to the point of the earth being renewed yet. There's always a remnant. There's always survivors. There's always people in hiding, and then they come back out. Trying to think what I'm going to look up Psalm 74 really quick. The thought I had about the timeline was everything according to whether you are, and I don't like the term preterist or not, because I'm not a preterist, and there's some, I guess everyone has to be labeled. I don't think we should be labeled because there's so much that we don't know. There's full preterism, which believes that everything in Revelation has happened already except for the very last part, and that we're in Satan's little season right now in Revelation 20. And then there's partial preterism, which believes obviously just partially. But all that reminds me of like when I was in the Baptist church and they talked about pre-tribulation rapture and post-tribulation rapture and blah, 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 blah. Amillennialism, post-millennialism, pre-millennialism. Or whatever. It's all man-made. What I was thinking about the timeline, and don't take me as some biblical scholar. I don't know. I'm just trying to rework things in my own mind. If we're still going by the timeline that they have set for us in our own heads, they meaning evil. So if they're still trying to trip us up based on, 70 AD. We don't know when 70 AD was. We know for sure this isn't even the year 2022, and it's not going to be 2023. We don't know where we are. And so it's kind of like there is no way of knowing. And it makes more sense that things have already happened in some kind of timeline because there's no real way of even knowing where we are. So, I don't know. I had a better, clearer thought than that, and I'll try to maybe work that out in words on a post if I can remember what I was truly thinking. I guess I need more coffee. Hydra. Mixing of bloodlines. Yeah. Okay. Is that like what the Marvel movies have alluded to? Because in media they always give us snippets of the truth. Yeah, I'll look that up. Now, there's always something to learn. All right, Psalm 74:14 says, I'm going to actually read 1 through 14. So this is by Asaph, not David. Why, O Elohim, have you rejected us forever? Why does your anger smolder against the sheep in your care? Remember your congregation. Long ago you made it your own. You bought this tribe to be your possession. This tribe is Mount Zion, where you have made your home. Turn your steps toward these pathetic ruins. The enemy has destroyed everything in the holy temple. Your opponents have roared inside your meeting place. They have set up their own emblems as symbols. Well, we know that's happened in churchianity and all that. Yes, he has given us plenty of time, Mike. I agree. And there is still time. Starting from its entrance, they hacked away like a woodcutter in a forest. They smashed all its carved paneling with axes and hatchets. They burned your holy place to the ground. They dishonored the place where you live among us. They said to themselves, we will crush them. So that kind of sounds like the Inheritors, doesn't it? All those fires and stuff. They try to destroy all evidence. They burned every meeting place of El in the land. We no longer see miraculous signs. There are no more prophets anymore. We're getting to that point. No one knows how long this will last. How long, O El, will the enemy insult us? Will the enemy despise you forever? Why do you hold back your hand, especially your right hand? And that's referring to the right hand is the hand of power and of judgment, of swiftness. Take your hands out of your pockets, destroy your enemies. So this is an angry psalm. They're saying, do something. And yet from long ago, El has been my Melech, which means, one moment, because I don't have that in my head. Melech. And I don't like all these names get kind of confusing sometimes. But they're just descriptions. Don't let it confuse you too much. Does anyone know what Melech is off the top of their head, the name of Yah? I can't find it right now. My bad. Yeah, no, I don't remember what Melech is. Okay. And yet from long ago, Elohim has been my Melech, the one who has been victorious through the earth. You stirred up the sea with your own strength. You smashed the heads of sea monsters in the water. You crushed the heads of Leviathan and gave them to the creatures of the desert for food. There it is. You opened the springs and brooks. You dried up the ever-flowing rivers. I'll just read to the end of the chapter. The day and the night are yours. You set the moon and the sun in their places. You determined all the boundaries of the earth. You created summer and winter. Remember how the enemy insulted you, O Yah. Remember how an entire nation of godless fools despised your name. Do not hand over the soul of your dove to wild animals. Do not forget the life of your oppressed people forever. Consider your promise, because every dark corner of the land is filled with violence. Do not let oppressed people come back in disgrace. Let weak and needy people praise your name. Arise, O El, fight for your own cause. Remember how godless fools insult you all day long. Do not forget the shouting of your opponents. Do not forget the uproar made by those who attack you. Yah doesn't forget. And his enemies know it. So that's all I have. So in that passage, it is talking about the sea creatures, not among the people, but the actual sea creatures, which on those old maps, there's always some creepy sea creatures, like gigantic sea creatures out there on those old maps. So take that with what you will. Sorry I kind of rambled. I never come on here and am uber prepared because I don't always have time to do that, but I just like fellowshipping and hear what people have to say because we all have our own thoughts and our own knowledge about certain things. So just saw my iPad was unplugged. But yeah, there's still time. We can question and get angry, and it's okay. It's human. There was a point last year and kind of this year too, I've found myself not feeling anything. So if we're not feeling anything, that's even a worse problem to have. We're supposed to feel, we're supposed to um, let things out, or, we need to be human. So the pigeons are the cleanest meat. Yeah. Fowl of the air. Yeah. Um, I didn't know that, Mike. Pigeons seem dirty to me, but there's certainly a lot in Chicago. um, we do have wild turkeys here in Indiana. I saw one across the street one time, so that's kind of weird. Um, I say weird because I'm a city girl and I didn't usually see like wild turkeys walking around, even though I know they're out there where I used to live. I did see a bald eagle. There's a couple of bald eagles that live out that way, but among other things. So that's all I have. Thanks for listening. I hope I didn't bore you or confuse you. I don't come on here to confuse anyone. I just kind of take my thoughts and share them because I need to learn too. Or if, like Mike was giving some stuff to look up, I'll have to look that up. And it's okay to be angry. I still find myself sometimes questioning, and sometimes I don't know. I'm still praying for my daughter to be released from some things she struggles with because I just don't understand why she does. And I know, God has a plan and all that stuff. Like, I know that, but I just want to know why. I think we can know why. I think we don't ask why all the time. I think the church has made us passive, honestly, in my opinion. And I know some people, I don't mean to bash the church a lot. I know some people mean well and they think that they're helping by giving all these Christianese type anecdotes or, oh, this verse, just reading a verse does not make things go away or make things easier. It does for a moment, but Yah is the one, and we can completely connect with him on our own. We don't need someone else to tell us how to think about him or how to connect with him, and just pray about it. Sometimes you don't even know what to pray. There's been so many times I really just don't sit at my bedside and pray for hours like I was taught to in college in my devotion time. Like, I don't pray like that. I just really just talk to Yah because he's there. Um, and he knows our thoughts. And so you can think anything and he'll answer. You just have to be attuned to listen. We have to be attuned to the vibrations. And there are evil vibrations out there or good vibrations. And you can't mix the two. There's blessings and cursings, and we have to be careful what we say because our words are powerful, not just because people hear them, but our soul will take those in. Just like I said with my father-in-law, what he said to Robert as a baby affected his whole life. And so you just, I've told him, like I said earlier, rebuke those things and not actively resisting them, because then the picture I got in my head was you're fighting. So guess what? If you try to hit them, they're going to hit you back. And then you got a battle on your hands, and you can't always do that. Sometimes there's a time to fight and there's a time to, to just ignore. And like I think Mike said, they don't have power over us, and we don't have to actively fight. Let Yah fight for you. But none of us are going to be destroyed ultimately. So yeah, blessings to you. Thanks, Mike, for sharing your wisdom. And natural disasters aren't. You're right. Yep, I agree, Skull. Nothing's natural anymore. I think this world is so fake, and I think a lot about You guys got me going on these rabbit trails. I think a lot about the simulation and what's really going on. It's just everything is so fake. It's just the veil of deception. It's just covering like these dumb clouds. So, yeah. Okay, blessings. I'm going to stop now.